In the US, streaming video services have stepped up as full-fledged industry players long ago. Still, it's worth noting that no one expected such a surge in the popularity of services, which happened in 2020. The game's rules, which seemed so immutable, started to change dramatically, reaching the point where some studios decided to release films online at the same time as the box office, while others started to force cinemas to shorten the usual time frame to a minimum. Movie production was suspended, releases were postponed, many companies lost their money, and cinemas were on the brink of survival. COVID changed our world. But at the same time, it triggered the development of large online movie theaters, which quickly won their audiences. Today, they have literally become giant online providers of digital entertainment products. Most of them operate in two lucrative niches: the production and distribution of movies and TV series. Certainly, among them, we can find an American entertainment company, Netflix, which conquered the hearts of many fans of quality movies and exciting series. But before we begin, make sure you've subscribed to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with future content. Some people consider Netflix to be a whole universe with a huge selection of videos, while others are still unaware of this company. Anyway, it is the company that sets the new trends and slowly outs the big Hollywood studios. So today, we're going to reveal how it all began and how the Netflix company emerged. The company's history goes back to the end of the last century, to be exact in 1997. Its founders were two friends and later colleagues, Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings. Reed had been maturing the idea for a long time, and of course, it did not appear by accident. One day, Reed failed to return a rented videotape on time, so he was fined for it in the amount of $40. However, the creators themselves prefer to avoid sharing this story. Reed Hastings was born on October 8, 1960 in Boston. His parents worked in President Nixon's administration, so he was blessed to be born in the right place at the right time. Because of his parents' good financial standing, Reed graduated from Cambridge University, and during his academic years, he was one of those active students that others followed in their footsteps. He was head of an extreme club, the heart and soul of any company, and the chief guest at all social events and parties. At the age of 20, he decided to try a new thing and enrolled in a Marine officer training course, where he studied for a year without ever graduating. Upon earning his bachelor's degree in 1983, Hastings joined the Peace Corps, an independent agency of the U.S. government that sends trained volunteers to hard-to-reach regions of the Third World as volunteers. He spent 3 years there, teaching mathematics to students in the small kingdom of South Africa, Swaziland, and then returned to California. He followed his studies at Stanford University, graduating in 1988 with a master's degree in computer science. His first job was as a developer at a division of a large U.S. holding company, Adaptive Corp., where he worked on the development of tools that analyze faults and also provide software troubleshooting. In 1991, he and two companions decided to leave the company with the sole purpose of starting their own business. That's how Pure Software, a software troubleshooter, was founded. As for the second founder of the company, Mark Randolph, he's only 2 years older than Reed and was born on April 29, 1958 in New York, in the family of a nuclear engineer. In fact, owing to the good financial background of the family, the man also attended the prestigious private Hamilton College, graduating with a degree in geology. By the way, he never worked in his area of expertise, starting his career in the Postal Service. In 1988, he accepted a job offer at software giant Borland International, where he created various marketing strategies, and he worked there until 1995, before heading to Silicon Valley to join several promising startups and projects. Mark and Reed met in late 1996 when Hastings invited a new guy to take over as vice president of corporate marketing. At the same time, Hastings' company went public, announcing a merger with Atria Software. In 1997, another merger took place when Rational Software acquired the merged company Pure Atria. Hastings was appointed CTO, but left shortly after the acquisition, selling his stake for $700 million. It's hard to say whether Hastings found this decision difficult, since he had actually created his business from scratch while investing enormous resources and energy in it. But at the same time, he was definitely riding a winning streak, even after selling his part of the business. Moreover, given a huge amount of money, he wasn't even going to stop there, much less sit tight. He felt he still had a long way to go in the world of digital technology, making large-scale plans. At the time, the bulky VHS format was still the standard for the US rental market, but the compact, cheaper digital cinema format on DVD media was starting to emerge. DVD players flooded the electronics market in months, making DVDs a very promising format to work with. Hastings perceived that such a time was the best moment to take action. Encouraged by Mark, Hastings headed to New York in search of investors for their future joint venture. Ironically, Netflix's first investors were Hastings himself, Randolph's mother, and Steve Kahn, the founder of Integrity QA. We should also note that Hastings and Randolph quickly reached common ground in their work. The first one possessed the necessary management skills, was well-versed in working business strategies, and of course had solid capital. Meanwhile, the second one had gained extensive practical experience in internet marketing and mailing lists. The DVD rental company Netflix was incorporated in late 1997, and a few months later, on April 14, 1998, a full-fledged website was launched. The company was headquartered in an office building in Squaw Valley, California. Thanks to their experience, Mark and Reed could provide excellent market analysis, which in turn helped them understand their customers' needs. Moreover, the rental market offered excellent opportunities for large-scale business development. The core idea of their business was just about the fact that video stores and DVD rental services at the time were terribly inconvenient. The client constantly had to rush back and forth to get the disc with the film first and then return to the same place the next day to give it back. At the same time, you had to watch it the same day and so on and so forth. Go to the rental shop, take the disc, come home, watch it, go to the rental shop again, return the disc, take a new one, and it goes on and on until the end of time. But the Netflix business model worked differently. The customers didn't have to go to any other location to rent a movie. They could just order any movie or series from Netflix catalog via mail and make the payment via bank. Joining this service cost only $4 per week and a further $2 to mail the disc to the customer. As a result, it cost the customer only $6 a week, while for $20 a month, subscribers could rent an unlimited number of discs, which were mailed to them in branded red envelopes. To protect itself from dishonest customers, Netflix simply didn't rent new discs to people who hadn't returned the old ones. In fact, the company became fully operational by the end of the summer of 1997. Netflix's first customers were citizens of the United States, and the first year of operation was a year of testing the new product. A staff of only 30 people was hired, and the library of movies and series contained about 900 titles. It took the company's founders almost 6 months to get Netflix running steadily. More importantly, a big advantage for Netflix in the market was that their official website consistently released new film reviews and published announcements of upcoming series. Meanwhile, in order to attract more new customers, they had to work very hard. One of the effective methods of attracting new audiences at Netflix was the option to rent hot new releases with interesting videos. However, there were problems too. Very often, the company received furious letters from its customers saying that the discs arrived scratched or even broken. The reason the discs broke was simple. The post office was not manually sorting the discs, but rather the machines, which at the time were not the most efficient way to sort letters that contained discs. They were designed for normal paper mail. While sorting, the machines could just grind up an envelope containing the long-awaited disc expected at home on Friday night by a huge family and friends in anticipation of a Hollywood new release. Needless to say, customers started flooding Netflix with complaints or simply unsubscribing. At that moment, the creators realized that a huge crack had appeared in their apparently perfect business model. A crack so huge that it could have ruined the whole startup. You can come up with a business concept, you can package it up nicely, and you can even write out all the processes, but just one thing can ruin you. But who knew that the post office used robots to sort letters? Every state had a different sorting system, and some states didn't have one at all. It was almost impossible to solve the problem globally. The partners took a break for a while, and a few days later, they rolled out a solution to the problem. How can the discs inside the envelopes be kept safe and intact? Very easily. Reed and Mark started making special durable branded envelopes from Netflix, made of heavy-duty paper with a secure disc baffle. Of course, it meant extra costs, but they weren't planning to give up on the whole idea. So by 1999, Netflix's business model was already built and based on three pillars: a subscription-based service with no due dates or late fees and unlimited access to content, a queue that allowed subscribers to specify the order in which DVDs were to be mailed to them, and a serialized delivery system that automatically mailed DVDs once the previous disc had been returned. That's how Netflix rented more than 10,000 copies of Bill Clinton's video testimony on the Lewinsky case, which led to the impeachment of the President of the United States in just 1 week. Netflix drew conclusions from this situation and began to understand people's needs well. It was this skill that saved Netflix many times during a difficult period of development. Soon, the company had signed agreements with all the major Hollywood studios for the supply of newly released discs and started accumulating a base of DVDs stocked in their own distribution centers throughout the United States of America. In fact, every state had its own warehouse, where the discs were stored and where trained staff worked, making it possible to deliver a disc to any, even the remotest place in the U.S. where no distributor had ever stepped foot before in the shortest possible time. Netflix gradually started to catch up with its competitors, including the then popular Blockbuster network. Its annual revenues reached about $5 billion. Consumer demand was growing rapidly, and they did not want to stay on the back burner. Hosting executives had a clear vision that they could not stand still, and all decisions had to be made quickly and efficiently. They decided to invade the market by means of interesting promotions in order to attract a large flow of potential customers who could then order new discs. The first promotion was a lottery for a trip to Los Angeles, and the second promotion gave customers a 30% discount if they bought twice as many CDs as in the previous month. You would think, but that's not profitable, and you would be dead wrong, since I would say that it is not. Such promotions were beneficial for two reasons at once. The first was that Netflix was taking over the rental market. The second was an increase in DVD users. In order to increase sales, Netflix decided to make even more extra bonuses for customers. To do so, it signed a contract with the Japanese company Toshiba. Those who bought players of this brand received free rental of 3 additional discs from Netflix. Thus, Netflix increased both the number of DVD users and its audience of loyal customers. In such a simple way, the company already had 600,000 subscribers by 2003, and less than a year later, it reached the 1 million milestone. In 2004, the number of subscribers grew by 50% to 1.5 million, and by September 2005, the number was already 3.5 million users. However, the story with the rival company Blockbuster only grew hotter. In 2005, Blockbuster launched its online disc rental service, which was completely copied and similar to Netflix. The only difference was the number of movies, TV series, and show programs offered for rent. It crossed the line of 25,000 different shows and movies. As a consequence, Netflix started to have huge problems. Right after the new online service launch, Netflix's audience started to plummet. A decision was made to reduce the cost of its services to slightly stop the exodus of customers to the competitor's company. Blockbuster then merged its online platform and real stores, allowing the company's customers to borrow a free disc from the store and then return and exchange it by mail. However, this didn't help much. Netflix remained firmly afloat. The rivalry and competition for customers kept between Netflix and Blockbuster until 2010, when Blockbuster declared bankruptcy. Strange to hear that, isn't it? But it once again proves that money is sometimes less important than creative ideas. When Netflix first came out, Blockbuster was valued at more than $5 billion. On top of that, they had a huge retail network of DVD and cassette tape rentals, as well as established ties with Hollywood studios and other things. In 2000, Netflix had only about 300,000 subscribers who received DVDs in the mail. The company was losing money, so management offered Blockbuster to buy 49% of Netflix for $50 million. Under the proposed terms, Netflix should be renamed Blockbuster.com and deal with online sales, while Blockbuster itself would purchase, store, and deliver DVDs, becoming less dependent on the U.S. Postal Service. At the time, however, Blockbuster only laughed at their under-competitor, and, of course, the offer was rejected. But in just 12 years, a young and ambitious competitor destroyed them. The year 2007 marked the history of Netflix. The company launched its own streaming platform, a service that provides users with a wide selection of movies and series. Its main advantage was that any Netflix subscriber could simply go in, select the desired series, season, and episode, and enjoy watching. Well, the main advantage of the Netflix streaming platform was that the company commissions an entire season of the series into production at once. That is, the viewer could easily watch an entire season of his favorite show in one day without waiting weeks for new episodes to be released. In 2008, Netflix signed agreements with home electronics companies for streaming on Xbox 360, Blu-ray disc players, and set-top boxes. By 2010, the company was expanding its outreach. The platform was available in Canada and Western Europe. A bit later, it also appeared in Latin America. In 2015, the company's services also became available to users from Japan, New Zealand, and Australia. Soon, it became obvious that in order to increase profits and the number of users, it was necessary to create their own content. To do this, Netflix signed an agreement with Marvel Television in 2013. Together, they started producing series about Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. Marvel enjoys great popularity worldwide, so the collaboration greatly impacted Netflix's development. The companies entered a 5-year contract, and after that, Netflix agreed with Disney to broadcast the 6th season of the animated television series The Clone Wars. We should also say that Netflix's own content production has yielded great results. In 2013, for example, Hastings led Netflix into uncharted territory with its first original TV series, House of Cards. House of Cards was nominated for a staggering 9 Primetime Emmy nominations and won 3 of them, competing against several traditional TV shows. By the end of 2013, Netflix shares had tripled in value, and net profit reached $112 million a year. Moreover, the audience has already crossed the threshold of 33 million users. After House of Cards, they also launched the Mexican series The Club of Crows, while simultaneously working on shooting their first full-fledged film. The distinctive feature of Netflix is its detailing and distribution of powers, i.e., no one person is responsible for launching this or that project. Several people are working in different directions and making independent decisions. The content director created a special system. With its help, Netflix operates as 10 to 15 semi-independent production companies, and the results of their activities are reflected in the projects they run. Unfortunately, the service does not provide data on the most popular series produced by Netflix. It is impossible to calculate the exact number, as several people can use one account, and therefore, the number of views will differ. Still, we definitely want to highlight some of the most popular series of all time produced by Netflix. At the top of the list is Stranger Things, one of Netflix's flagship series, which won a loyal fan base and launched the careers of many young actors. The project has received numerous awards and nominations. Of course, in second place would be the series The Crown, which covers the life of the most famous royal family. Next is House of Cards, a project that shows behind the scenes of the White House, as well as the TV series Narco, Daredevil, and many others. Sometimes, unfortunately, it happens that popular TV series that we love simply get shut down. Good reviews from critics are not a criterion for starting a new season. The most important thing for Netflix is the number of viewers who watch a particular series. The Netflix story is still going strong these days. According to 2022 data, the company has increased the number of subscribers to 223 million, which is a staggering result. That number of users is 100 million more than the entire population of Mexico. According to the latest reports, Netflix attracts about 4 million new users each quarter, and the company's net income has crossed the $5.1 billion threshold, with turnover in 2021 reaching $29.7 billion, which is a record. The financial performance is a result of the success of many of the company's own productions. The company combines an excellent business strategy with the latest technology and streaming services. Thanks to high-quality content, the company continues its growth in the market of video services. We should also note the number of awards the company has received for its series. For example, Roma received 10 Oscar nominations, including 3 Oscar statuettes for Best Director, Best Cinematography, and Best Foreign Language Film. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs received 3 nominations. Netflix also picked up 2 nominations in the short documentary section. However, there were some scandals too. Steven Spielberg, for example, criticized Netflix, saying that Netflix movies shouldn't even be nominated for an Academy Award. Spielberg said that Netflix makes its films more for web platforms than for cinemas. Even despite critics, Netflix continues to lure famous actors, screenwriters, and directors to create high-quality and captivating movies. On the whole, Netflix is a unique business project with a long history. The main priority of Netflix is users' interests. The employees do everything possible to make sure that viewers enjoy their favorite series, movies, and shows. The company offers users all over the world quick access to exciting movies and TV series. The number of movies on Netflix is so huge that it would take a lifetime to watch them all. Every user from anywhere in the world can find a movie or series worth watching. While the subscription prices are quite affordable, today Netflix more and more actively takes away the share of Hollywood studios in the production of films, as well as the share of large operators, distributors, and cinemas. Moreover, as the business founders themselves say, they still have a lot to strive for because the market changes every year, and you always have to keep your ear to the ground. What is your favorite movie or show on Netflix right now? We're curious to hear your opinion in the comments. At this point, we get to the end of our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, and give this video a big thumbs up.